Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Dr. Peter Glidden here with you. Welcome to Fire Your MD Now. So reach me live on today's show, 866-582-9933. Give me a shout, 866-582-9933, and we will talk about all things having to do with holistic medicine. And yes, this is not the 60s version of holistic medicine. This is not medicine delivered by hippies from the Haight-Ashbury with Birkenstocks and beads. This is not holistic medicine. Although the MDs would have you believe that that's what holistic medicine is, because every time the MDs even talk about, mention, or allude to holistic medicine, it's done out of the side of their mouth in a denigrating fashion. And, because they monopolize the medical theater, because they own everything, because the pharmaceutical companies have such gigantic power and control, you buy it, hook, line, and sinker. This is the cultural message that we have all been inculcated into. This is the already, always listening which exists in our minds. We are conditioned, and I'm choosing my words carefully, we are conditioned to believe that the only people that have anything valid to say about medicine are the MDs, and that everybody else is a back-of-the-bus dangerous quack, which is ironic because the leading cause of death in the United States is MD-directed medicine. You be careful. Be very careful. This is like 1984. War is peace. Constant surveillance is liberty. You've got to be kidding me. Being in debt all of the time, oh, that's financial freedom. Well, guess what? When the MDs tell you that they're the only ones that practice health care, they're lying. And it is, you should believe exactly the opposite of what they tell you. I'm a licensed physician. I'm licensed. I have been licensed to practice naturopathic medicine since 1992. Completed 8 years of medical education in 1991, have a doctoral degree from a fully accredited academic institution in Seattle, Washington. I am one of approximately 4,000 individuals in the United States. We are an eeny, weeny, teeny group of licensed physicians. We are the only physicians in the United States trained in the holistic method, which means we are trained in the clinical use of therapeutics which are designed to support and promote the body's ability to fix itself. We are the only physicians in the world who are trained in non-drug health recovery solutions. Can I prescribe drugs? Yeah. In a handful of states in the U.S. I can. And I have to get continuing education credit every year in order to be able to keep that up. As a matter of fact, I have to get continuing education credit every year in order to maintain my license. I'll be going to the annual Naturopathic Medical Conference in Seattle. It's in Seattle this year. It's actually in a suburb of Seattle called Bellevue in the middle of August. I'll be there for 5 days going back to school, doing continuing education, because that's what we do. We are the only physicians in the world who are trained in science-based, clinically verified, non-drug solutions for your health condition. But the MDs would have you believe I'm dangerous, while the MD is the leading cause of death in the United States. MD therapeutics are the leading cause of death in the United States. And while the MDs have been driving the bus of medicine, our health is going nowhere fast. Our life expectancy is getting worse. Autism rates are increasing. High blood pressure is increasing. Obesity is increasing. Alzheimer's is increasing. Everybody's sick all the time. Why? Because we all have a bad gene, right? No, that's what the MD would have you believe. The only reason we're getting sick all the time is because we've gone to the wrong person for medical advice. Period. The reason that we have a healthcare crisis in this country is not because of fraud. In medical insurance fraud. It's not because of a for-profit pharmaceutical industry. It's not because of a for-profit medical industry. It's for no reason. It's certainly not for lack of medical insurance. The only reason that we have a healthcare crisis here is because we have believed in the myth of the MD. The reason that everybody's health is in the crapper is because the MDs cannot fix chronic health conditions. They cannot do it. Slavery is bad. Childhood labor is bad. Not allowing women to vote is bad. The earth is not flat, and MD therapeutics for chronic disease do not work. Need to drum it into your heads, folks. MD therapeutics for chronic disease do not work. I was watching the Olympics this weekend. The Olympics. And, you know, I'm kicking back, relaxing, trying to get my head away from all of the medical madness that's here in the United States, quite frankly around the world. And there I see a commercial, you know, in between the badminton matches or whatever the heck I was watching. Here's a commercial about a black woman, a black mother, whose son, who loved sports, and they aired this, you know, during the Olympics on purpose, because her son, who loved sports, was diagnosed with a heart condition. He had an enlarged heart. Her son had an enlarged heart, and thank God the doctors with this new technological discovery device. The commercial was for the company that made the ultrasound that the doctors used to diagnose this kid's condition. Thank God they found the condition, because now my son, they saved his life, number one, and number two, with proper monitoring, he's allowed to play sports now. Not to the degree that he was able to play before, but he's allowed to play sports now. Isn't modern American medicine great? No, it's not. Because in the 1940s, in pre-World War II Germany, there was a condition called athlete's heart. It was so common, it was given a standard name, not a medical name. It was called athlete's heart. What was it? It was an enlarged heart. When did it happen? It happened in people who exercised more than the average bear, you know, like athletes. So what happens? Well, when you exercise all of the time, you put stress and strain on your cardiovascular system. You put stress and strain on your whole body. Your muscles, your joints, your ligaments, your tendons, everything gets stressed when you exercise. And then after exercise, your body is supposed to recover and strengthen itself. Well, the same thing happens to the heart. Your heart works hard during exercise, and then post-exercise, your body is supposed to make the heart stronger, reinforce it, give it more nutrients, make it stronger, right? That's why we exercise. Oh, you have to exercise, you have to stay fit. Well, guess what? If you're exercising and you are not supplementing your diet with the 90 essential nutrients, what happens is you put stress, in this case, on your heart, and then the heart tries to recover, but it doesn't have the raw materials it needs to recover. So one of the things that happens, if you have a deficiency in the mineral selenium, selenium being the operative nutrient here, your heart enlarges. In order to keep from enlarging, your heart needs selenium. If you have selenium and you exercise, you're going to be strong and healthy. But if you don't have selenium and you exercise, your heart will enlarge and you're going to have heart trouble. You could die of a heart attack. And that's why these athletes are dropping dead all over the place now. You know, about 9 months ago, there was a high school basketball player dropped dead after he shot the winning shot on the court. Professional football player last year, I forget his name, dropped out of a heart attack. A professional soccer player the same year dropped out of a heart attack on the field. These people are supposed to be the fittest, healthiest people in the freaking planet. They are paid to exercise. Oh, they must have a bad gene, right? No, they've got the wrong doctor. So what happens in this commercial, right? The whole gist of this was modern technological medicine saved this woman's son. Well, no, it did not. If that kid were my patient, he wouldn't have an enlarged heart. Because every single one of my patients is on a selenium supplementation in addition to the other 89 nutrients that their bodies need to maintain their health. Exercise without proper nutrition is suicide. This condition was so common in Germany in pre-World War II, they called it athlete's heart. Gerhard Schrauzer, professor emeritus at University of California in San Diego, I believe it's in San Diego, proved that it was caused by a selenium deficiency. If you give selenium, the heart shrinks back to its normal size. You exercise without selenium, the heart expands and then explodes, and you die of a heart attack. The only reason this woman on this TV commercial, the only reason her son had an enlarged heart is because he went to the wrong doctor. Period. We have got it completely backwards here. We have so backwards. And it is so everywhere all of the time. We're like a ship of fools. Everybody that's on the ship is sick all of the time. So we look around and we think, holy smokes, it's only a matter of time before it happens to me. And then when it happens to me, I don't feel so bad. I feel like one of the crew, one of the crowd, right? Oh, yeah, my knees went bad. Oh, yeah, I got asthma. Oh, yeah, I got high blood pressure. Oh, I'm just getting older. Oh, I have a prostate problem. Oh, I'm just getting older. Oh, I have anxiety and panic attacks. Oh, I'm just getting older. It must be the stress of life. No, it's not. If you are suffering with a chronic illness, the only reason you are suffering with a chronic illness is because you went to the wrong doctor. Because your body knows how to fix itself. Your body wants to fix itself. And there are 3 things that your body needs in order to fix itself and maintain itself. Number 1, you need 90 essential nutrients every day. Number 2, you need to stop eating food that's hurting your body. And number 3, you need to secure a certain number of antioxidant points a day. Antioxidant points are referred to as ORAC points, O-R-A-C. The minimum, the absolute minimum is 20,000 ORAC a day. 50,000 is better. And if you're dealing with an inflammatory illness, 100,000 is mandatory. So when you supply your body with all the raw materials in the form of the 90 essential nutrients, when you identify the 10 foods that'll kill you, stop eating them, and up the ante with your antioxidants, guess what? Your joints repair themselves, your heart repairs themselves, your lung repairs themselves, but then you're going to have an eye problem. What's the problem? You're going to go to your doctor and say, I can't see you anymore, you stupid knucklehead. So we're going right to the phones with Janet from Florida. Janet, you are live with Dr. Glidden. Welcome aboard.
Hi there. I'll get right to it. I've been on the Healthy Start Pack and the protocol for building bone and cartilage since October. I had immediate relief with arthritis in my fingers, but my low back, which I've had for a lot longer time, has some issues, but it's mostly soft tissue pain that I'm experiencing, and I feel like it radiates across my back, and sometimes my arms feel numb.
Okay. Has anyone ever diagnosed this? Have you, gotten an x-ray or been to an osteopath or a chiropractor and had them poke around and tell you what they think?
I just went in June, at the beginning of June, and had x-rays I hadn't had for years. He said it was spondylitis.
Ankylosing spondylitis, yeah.
Yeah, and the only way I could resolve it was by dextrose shots, and that nutrition wouldn't help.
Yeah, well, he's an idiot. All right.
I know.
So, by the way, there should be a law which disallows healthcare professionals from talking through their you-know-what about subjects they know nothing about. If you came to see me for an opinion about open-heart surgery, you would be a fool to listen to anything that I had to say about it, because even though I'm a licensed physician, I don't know anything about open-heart surgery. Zero. And yet the hubris and the arrogance of the MD is breathtaking. Because these people will not even bat an eyelash. They will not feel guilty for 1 nanosecond about speaking to you out of turn about a subject that they have no training, no clinical experience, no personal experience, and no respect for. Zero. And yet they'll tell you all the time, oh, that nutrition doesn't work. It won't work for this. Oh, that acupuncture, that's a load of horse hockey. Oh, that homeopathy, that's all just placebo. None of that's not going to work. There should be a law, quite frankly. But I digress. This is how far down the rabbit hole we've gone. MDs can say whatever they want, whenever they want, as much as they want, and we don't hold their feet to the fire. Well, the next time a medical doctor tells you anything about nutrition, I want you to say, really, doctor, can you tell me name the B vitamins for me? Ask him to name the B vitamins for you. See if he can do that. If your doctor can name the B vitamins off the top of his head, I'll eat my hat. But anyway, ankylosing spondylitis is a tricky wicket. Ankylosing spondylitis is like arthritis on steroids. You know, it's really bad. Not so bad that you can't, you still shouldn't get in there and try to support and promote your body's ability to fix itself because, quite frankly, you don't have any other choice. Now, the worst thing that can happen with ankylosing spondylitis or anything else is that you will retard or neutralize the degenerative process so that it stops happening. Now, maybe your body will be able to bounce back. Maybe it won't. I've seen people bounce back with ankylosing spondylitis. And the things that I've seen people recover from, you wouldn't believe. Well, maybe you'd believe it. But, you know, I've given up the belief a long time ago that I have any idea whatsoever of where the recovery line stops. The things that I've seen people recover from are extraordinary and just this side of miraculous. So if I had to bet whether you could recover from this condition or not, I would bet that you could be able to. Because what the heck, we have nothing to lose here. So what we do, specifically, the devil is in the details when it comes to ankylosing spondylitis, okay? So what I would recommend that you do for 90 days is increase double your calcium dose. Double it. Whatever you're taking now, double it. If you're 100 pounds and taking the 100-pound dose, take a 200-pound dose. If you're 200 pounds, take the 400-pound dose, okay? So whatever amount of the white liquid calcium you're taking right now, I want you to take twice as much. And when you take it, and I want you to do it in divided doses of 1 ounce at a time. So if you're doing 1 ounce twice a day, now I want you to do 1 ounce 4 times a day. And every time you take the white liquid calcium from now on for the next 90 days, I'm going to say do this for 90 days. I want you to put it in a little bit of orange juice because that will help your body to assimilate the calcium. And then I'm going to tell you the other stuff to do in order to tighten this up and get yourself on the other side of this. Gentlemen, fire your MD now. Cancel your comprehensive medical insurance by catastrophic insurance. Instead, take your vitamins, clean up your diet. This is the only way that you can regain your health. If you're leaning on the MDs, if you're hoping against hope that the MDs are going to fix you, you have your head in the sand, and it is only a matter of time until something breaks, and then you will see firsthand the unbelievable failure, the abysmal failure of conventional medicine. Stop feeding the beast. Stop giving them your money and stop giving them your respect because they do not deserve it. Now, Janet, a couple more things about this ankylosing spondylitis thing. In addition to increasing your calcium, and I want you to do this for 90 days, the liquid calcium, with ankylosing spondylitis, we have to also support and promote the matrix of the bone and the matrix of the cartilage, and we do that with the glucogel supplement. Now, you get more bang for your buck with the solid glucogel, the glucogel in capsules, than you do with the liquid glucogel. And the optimal dose for this, the optimal dose, not a maintenance dose, but the optimal dose for this is 1 glucogel capsule per 10 pounds of body weight per day. So if someone's 150 pounds, they need 15 glucogel a day. That would be 5 in the morning, 5 with lunch, and 5 with dinner. If you're 180 pounds, you need 18 a day. That's 6 with breakfast, 6 with lunch, and 6 with dinner, and so on. So you have to dial in the adequate dosage of the glucogel capsules, okay? Up the ante with the Osteo FX Plus, the white liquid calcium. And the final thing, two more things. You can get a product called CM, like Charlie Michael cream, and you can apply that topically to the part of your body that is in pain and see if the CM cream does not knock down the pain for 2, 3, 4 hours. Most of the time it does. It's a non-addictive, non-harmful, side-effect-free anti-inflammatory topical cream. It's fantastic. It's called CM cream, Charlie Michael cream. And they also have CM capsules. CM capsules. So I would get 1 bottle of the CM capsules, take 2 capsules 3 times a day for 14 days as an experiment, and see if the CM cream in combination with the oral CM capsules doesn't help to knock down the pain while you're upping the ante with your body's raw materials, in this case the glucogel and the white liquid calcium, okay? Now, as an aside, I became a certified yoga instructor, believe it or not, back in 1979. This was, before yoga was a big fad here in the United States, when yoga really was yoga, not Hollywood yoga. I've been a devotee of yoga forever, since I was 13 years of age. There are two particular yoga postures which can help you with a low back condition, the cobra and then the plow. The cobra and the plow. You want to do, now with yoga, you always want to do the mirror postures. So you do the forward bend, which would be called the cobra, and then after that you follow it with the backward bend, the plow. You do them for 2-3 minutes each time. Never, ever, ever hold your breath when you're doing it. Always do it. There doesn't want to be any pain in the yoga posture. And when you're doing the plow, your feet are going to be back over your head. And if you can't bring your toes all the way to the ground, then put a stool in back of you and prop your toes up on the stool. The idea here is to stretch out your lower back, first in one direction and then in the back, the opposite direction. So that's a nice little recipe, a nice little 90-day recipe. The improvement that you felt in your fingers should be expected to trickle down to the rest of your joint structure. So just give it a little more time and see what happens. And Janet, thank you so much for calling. I'm in a mood today. I'm on a roll here. We've got 1 million people on the phone. Thanks a lot, Janet. Give that a try. Billy from Kansas, you are next, and you are live with Dr. Glidden.
Hey, Dr. Glidden, thanks for taking my call. I wanted to give you a quick update and then ask you what I think is an absurd question, because my wife's making me do it anyway. Blood pressure's in order. Everything's working great for me. The weight's coming off. I felt so good that I've been working out again, but then here's the absurd question. My wife is saying my libido is off the charts, and, I'm not going to lie to you. Over the past month and a half, we've done more than that 6 foot of mattress and a monkey on 60 foot of vine, but she's complaining. And I'm saying, okay, this is probably a good thing, but she's asking me if I can call you to get you to dial me back. But I just thought about this on hold. Maybe there's a way you can get her fired up.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's exactly the thing. When it's nighttime here in the United States, it's daytime in Australia, right? So I think that probably, given the fact that you have experienced such remarkable improvement across the board, and remember, this is holistic medicine. So we don't just do weight loss. We don't just do a blood pressure program. We don't just do an arthritis or an ankylosing spondylitis support promote the recovery of it. We do a whole person recovery strategy here. And we don't talk about this enough, I don't think, but one of the side effects of properly applied holistic medicine, especially medical nutrition, is that you get unexpected positive consequences. So someone comes to see me for their high blood pressure. Specifically, they get on board with the program and their sleep improves, their appetite improves, their weight improves, their sex drive improves, everything improves, and the blood pressure comes down. So my response to you would be, given the fact that everything is improving in you, I'm going to think that the problem isn't with you, but the problem really might be with her, and so you need to get her on the diet, you need to get her on the supplements, and, see what happens, and then you'll be rocking the world and life is good.
Well, I'm doing all that. She says I'm treating her like a pincushion. I'm like, okay, granted, my libido's never been like this, not even as a kid. But, is this the way it should have always been, or?
Well, everybody's different in this regard, Billy, and, there are some people that, some people have greater stamina than others. There is just some people, even without any training, that can run twice as far as their brother or their sister just because that's how they're built. There are some people that, have strong and healthy appetites, and there are some people that don't. So, really, as we're going down the track here, you need to find your own way through this. You need to find your own way through this. And one thing that you can do in order to help is as your experience of your sex drive is increasing, if that becomes burdensome to the relationship, in any way, shape, or form, then you can channel that energy creatively or through exercise. So, you don't have to have a sexual outlet for sexual energy all the time. You can channel that into a nice workout program. You can channel that into some other area. So, I would muck around with that, but for goodness sake, that's not a bad complaint to have.
I was hoping you were going to tell me to become a Mormon.
Yeah,
okay, working out. I can do more of that.
Well, I know quite a number of. We lecture to. It's funny you should say that, because the Mormon religion has been a big supporter of Dr. Wallach's message, not because there's anything religious about Dr. Wallach's message, but because Dr. Wallach gave a lecture to a number of Mormons years and years ago, and it stuck. And, the Mormon community is just like any other religious community, especially if it's a small community. The word spreads like wildfire. So we have a lot of supporters, a lot of longevity Dr. Wallach supporters in the Mormon community. And, I don't know, Billy, maybe it's time to move to Utah. I'm not so sure. Thank you so much for calling, Billy. It's always a pleasure talking to you. We're going to go to Carl in Colorado next. Carl, you are live with Dr. Glidden.
Thank you for taking my call, Doctor.
What's going on, Carl?
Well, I got some really good news from my mom. She actually asked me, what the heck am I doing? She's always wondering. And she's got some problems, and it's wonderful to have her on board wanting to know what we can do for her.
Very good.
Rather than going to the doctor, she actually said the magic words, "I'm tired. These doctors are making me sicker."
Yeah, I get it.
Believe it. I couldn't believe it when I heard it. Anyway, talking about 89 years old, about 119 pounds. She's 5'6". Now, her problems would be angina, essential tremors, arthritis. In the esophagus, they're claiming she has a bubble, which makes it real difficult for her to swallow, and gags. She had surgery in her right shoulder, and so now she has a lack of motion and nerve damage, which she gets a pain from the elbow down to the hand. And she's always had, for me, I always noticed that she's always had tight and rigid muscles in her shoulders. And she told me that she was, at 17 years old, she had polio on her side.
Yeah, holy smokes. Yeah, that's a tough one to work through. Okay, so luckily, Carl, many of these things are related, kind of like arms coming off of the same octopus, and that's a good metaphor, actually, to live by. And oftentimes, with medical nutrition, that's the way that it is. Because the majority of chronic illnesses all cycle back to chronic, undiagnosed, undetected, by knuckle-headed MDs, nutrient deficiencies. So, the angina, which is, pain in the heart, can be caused by a number of things. It can be caused by a heart that's too big. It can be caused by blood pressure. It can be caused by funky valves in the heart. It can be caused by clogged coronary arteries. There's a number of things that can be contributing to the angina. Essential tremors. There's a number of things that can be causing essential tremors, but oftentimes essential tremors are related to the same condition which causes arteries in the heart to become clogged. It's oxidative damage to the central nervous system as opposed to oxidative damage to the coronary blood vessels. Trouble swallowing, a bubble in the esophagus, I don't think so. I mean, that's just stupid doctor talk. Well, she's got a bubble in the esophagus. Carl, holy smokes, what do you think about that? She must have swallowed a balloon when she was 10 years old. There's a bubble in the esophagus. Yeah, I don't think so. This is called globus hystericus, when people get a sensation as if there's a lump in the throat. Now, most of the time, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out, that's caused by inappropriate cramping of the muscles in your esophagus. Now, guess what? this woman also has inappropriate cramping in the muscles in her shoulders, right? You told me that. I didn't even ask you that. You just told me that. So the problem here, and the arthritic condition, of course, is related to not enough bone raw materials. The major player there being calcium and magnesium, and guess what the major player is for muscle spasticity and contractility? Calcium and magnesium. So I'm thinking that the arthritis, the pain in the arm, the bubble in the esophagus are all arms of the not enough calcium, not enough magnesium octopus. So the first thing that I would do for your mom for the first 90 days is going to be 1 Healthy Start Pack, 1 extra bottle of Cal Toddy. I don't want you to give her the OsteoFX. I want you to give her 1 extra bottle of Cal Toddy. I want her to have 2 bottles of Ultimate Selenium, 2 bottles of Ultimate Selenium, and 1 extra bottle of EFA+, and you can get the CM cream and apply it topically to wherever she is experiencing pain. I want you to start with that for 90 days. Call me back. Don't forget the diet, Carl. Everybody gets the diet. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. Back to the phone. Susan from California is calling with a kidney question. Susan, you are live with Dr. Glidden. Welcome aboard.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. Friday I listened to your show and you talked about the kidneys and how the parathyroid secretes a hormone full blast when there's no calcium in your body. So my next question is going to be for you. How do you stop it from producing all that hormone so that it doesn't keep pulling calcium out of your bones? Is it once you take in the calcium you need, your parathyroid gets a signal to stop?
Bingo. That's exactly it. Now,
okay.
And this is a very fascinating thing to talk about for a number of reasons. Number one, because it really outlines the self-regulating marvelousness, magnificent marvelousness of the human body. I mean, there are so many metabolic processes going on in the human body all at once, all the time. It is an extremely sophisticated biochemical machine, the human body. It is unbelievably sophisticated. And, yeah, it has self-regulatory capacity, of course, and so when you supply the body with enough extracurricular calcium, then the parathyroid shuts down, slows down, turns off, because guess what? There's enough calcium in the blood.
Great. What do you do if you already have kidney stones, and how do you get rid of them?
Well, see, now that makes you the smartest girl in class because you're thinking things through, all right?
Right.
A number of people are confused about this issue because what will happen frequently, it takes months, perhaps years, for a kidney stone to form. It doesn't just happen overnight. It takes a long time for that little stone to form. It's kind of like, the pearl doesn't form in the oyster overnight. The pearl forms in the oyster over the course of years. Well, it's the same with a kidney stone. So, people will have chronically low levels of calcium in their body their entire life. They're 35, 40 years old, and now they've got kidney stones in their kidney. Now, you can live, if the kidney stone is small enough and not in an anatomical location in the kidney where it's buttoned up against a major blood vessel, you can live quite happily with a kidney stone, no problemo. You can live quite happily with cysts in the kidney, no problemo. That's another story. But what happens when you finally get a clue and you finally stop eating food that's hurting your body and you give to your body all of the nutrition that it needs all of the time in the form of the Mighty 90, the Healthy Start Pack from Longevity, all of a sudden switches in your body that have been off for decades turn on. And your body starts to get healthy. Your body starts to rev itself up. Your body goes from first gear to second gear to third gear to fourth gear. Now you're in fifth gear, and your body is cruising. When your people have been on this program for a couple of months, invariably, if they have kidney stones, the body starts to get rid of the kidney stone. Why? Because it can. And the kidney stone ain't supposed to be there. Now all of a sudden the body has the chutzpah to dump the stone out. So guess what? They passed the stone, and they think it's the supplement that caused them to pass the stone, that gave them the stone. Well, it was the supplement that caused their body to pass the stone, but it wasn't the supplement that caused the stone to happen in the first place. Now, we have solutions to help to ease the passage of the kidney stone if it does happen. And that's a particular botanical medicine called Berberis vulgaris. B like baby, E-R, B like baby, E-R-I-S, vulgaris. If you have a kidney stone or you think you have a kidney stone, get a tincture of Berberis vulgaris, take your 90 for life, and if, heaven forbid, you start to pass a kidney stone, take a teaspoon every hour. It will ease the way. Ladies and gentlemen, we're all out of time. I'll see you tomorrow.